probably should start recording. Okay, number 2. Here's my angle, and it looks like I'm going to use tangent. So tangent of W is going to be 25 over 17. Inverse, tan inverse. So W is going to equal tan inverse of 25 over 17, which is approximately 55.8 degrees. And then here's my angle. Sine of 62 equals 24 over x. Cross multiply, I get x sine of 62 equals 24. Divide by sine of 62. And x is approximately going to be equal to 27.2. Okay. And then the last warm-up problem, here's my angle. Sine of x is going to be equal to 14 over 32. Inverse, because I'm looking for the angle. So x is going to be equal to the sine inverse of 14 divided by 32, which is approximately equal to 25.9 degrees. Is there any questions on any of those? You guys okay? Awesome. Okay, so we just have 2 vocabulary words to help with our, because we're doing story problems today, right? So there's just 2 vocabulary words that we just need to discuss. And that's angle of elevation. And basically that's the angle between the horizontal line of sight and object above the horizontal. So angle of elevation is from wherever I'm at. Sometimes it's the ground or your line of sight looking up. And then angle of depression is the same thing from your line of sight looking down. That's the angle. So that's the difference between them. So you know which angle we're talking about and we're looking at, okay? So angle of elevation is looking up. Angle of depression is looking down from whatever happens to be my horizontal, whether it be your eyes or the ground. Okay, any questions on those? And I have little pictures to demonstrate. Okay, so here we go. So it says, for each problem, make a drawing, write an equation, and solve. It says, don't forget to include your units of measure, of course. And the one thing I did forget to put is make sure that you round your answers to the nearest tenth. We're just going to the nearest tenth because that's what I did on the homework assignment. So you're just rounding to the nearest tenth of a degree. Okay? So it says carry places, and your pictures do not have to be special because all they're going to be is a right triangle, right? Just so long as you know what is what. So carry places a 10-foot ladder against a wall. Hopefully the wall is 90 degrees. We're assuming that, right? We're assuming the building is 90 degrees. It's not tilted. So here's my building. Whew. It's a line, really hard, right? And then I have a ladder leaning against it that is 10 feet long, okay? If the ladder makes it makes an angle of 65 degrees with the level ground, and that's the other thing we're assuming is that the ground is level. Okay, so there's a couple assumptions you have to make with these. So this is 65 degrees. How far up the wall is the top of the ladder? So how far up the wall? And here's my wall, so I'm just going to label that X, and there we go. So now I can set up a trig equation and solve. So I think that this is going to be sine. It looks like it's sine. Yeah, it's sine. So sine of 65 is going to equal x over 10. So x is going to equal 10 times the sine of 65, which is approximately 9.1 feet. Remember, if you're using Desmos, to switch it to radians and not degrees. I'm sorry, switch it to degrees and not radians. Wow. Okay, switch it to degrees and not radians because it's already in radians. So don't forget to do that, or else all your answers will be wrong. Okay. Number 2, a flagpole. So here's my flagpole. Hopefully our flagpole is standing straight up. Cast a shadow that's 15 feet long. So where do shadows lay at? This is the question that people have problems with this. Where do shadows lay at? On the floor. Shadows are on the ground, right? So here's my shadow here, and it's 15 feet long. Okay, the angle of elevation, so this is angle of elevation, this is me looking up. So this angle here is 40 degrees. Okay, of the sun at the time is 40 degrees. How tall is the flagpole? And they want to know how tall the flagpole is right there. So if you take it little pieces at a time, it tells you where to put all the numbers, right? And this is where most people get confused on story problems, is where to put everything at. So then I think that looks like that is tangent. Yeah. So tangent of 40 is going to be x over 15. Yeah, cross multiply. Oh, I so got the wrong answer. I so did that one wrong on my calculator. Wow. X is going to equal 15 tangent of 40. Wow, I did divide instead of times. Okay, so 15 tangent of 40 is going to be 12.6 feet tall. So the flagpole is 12.6 feet tall. That was really good. I'm glad I caught that, but I figured it out wrong. Okay, so here we go. A ramp is used for loading equipment from a dock to the ship. So here's the dock, here's my ship, and here's my ramp. Probably not right, but that's good enough. The ramp is 10 feet long, and the ship is 6 feet higher than the dock. So this is 6 feet. What is the angle of elevation? What is the angle of elevation of the ramp? So there we go. So this looks like it's sine. So sine of theta is going to be 6 over 10. Did I do that one right? Yes, I did. Okay. So sine inverse. So theta is going to equal sine inverse of 6 over 10, which is approximately 36.9 degrees. Any questions so far? Does anyone have any questions so far? We're doing okay? Not too bad? Okay. And then, A is for you guys to do. So here we go. In Southern California, there's a 6-mile section of Interstate 5 that increases 2,500 feet in elevation. So here's my road. Increases 2,500 feet in elevation. So, and it wants me to find the angle of elevation. So the 6-mile stretch section of Interstate 5, this I've taken both ways, where it could be the length of the road or the distance between here and here. Right? It's kind of open to interpretation on this particular one, because it doesn't really say if it's 6 miles long or 6-mile section. Because it's 6-mile section, I take it to mean that it's this distance here. If it says it was 6 miles long, I would do it the hypotenuse. I just figured it out both ways. Guess what? The angle is so small, it's the same measure. You get the same answer. Off by like the hundredths or thousandths starts changing different. So otherwise, it's the same angle. So it doesn't matter which one you put on this one. Just want to say that on this one. So 6 miles has to be feet. So how do I convert feet to miles? I multiply 5,280 by 6, right? Because there's 5,280 feet in a mile. And I get 31,680 feet in 6 miles. Oh, I need to print another one of those. And then I get, what do I get? Tangent of theta equals 2,500 over 31680. Tan inverse theta is going to equal tan inverse of 2500 over 31680, which is approximately 4.5 degrees. Here you go, honey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so on the next page, we've got 3 more problems to do. I guess we'll just do 2 at a time because I can't get all 3 of them up there. I mean 2, and then we'll go to the, here we go. Okay, a hot air balloon is 100 feet straight above where it's planning to land. So here's my hot air balloon. It's 100 feet. My hot air balloon, right? I can't draw, but there you go. Imagine it being a hot air balloon. Sarah is driving to meet the balloon when it lands. If the angle of elevation to the balloon is 35 degrees, so here's her driving, 35 degrees. How far away is Sarah from the place on the ground where the balloon will land? How far away is she? So that looks like tangent. Tangent of 35 equals 100 over x. Cross multiply. Equals 100. Divide by tangent of 35. Hello. Mrs. Call.
Oh, yeah.
She has a new last name. 142.8 feet. Questions? Is it okay? I don't know why I'm asking.
Yes.
You guys don't ever ask any questions.
That's perfect.
Thanks, Hunter. I'll be so happy to get back to regular class next year. Michelle is 60 feet away from a building. So here's my building. Here's Michelle. I can draw a little stick figure of her. There she is. It's beautiful. Give her some hair. There you go. 60 feet away from a building. The angle of elevation to the top of the building is 41 degrees. So this is 41 degrees. How tall is the building? Okay. Tangent of 41 equals x over 60. Oops, approximately 60 tan of 41, 52.2 feet tall. Questions? Awesome. Okay, and the last question says, an airplane is descending as it approaches the airport. If the angle of depression from the plane to the ground is 7 degrees, so here's my airplane. Yeah, airplane. Great, it looks like a B, but whatever. The angle of depression is 7 degrees. And the plane is 2,000 feet above the ground. What is the distance from the plane to the airport? This is the distance from the plane to the airport, not this distance. Okay? This is the distance from the plane to the airport. Or on the ground, it would be this distance here. Plane, airport. Okay? So I guess that's tangent again. Tangent of 7 equals 2,000 over x, cross multiply. Oh, I don't know why I put an x there. 1. X tangent of 7 equals 2,000. Divide by tangent of 7. X is approximately going to be equal to 2,000 divided by tangent of 7. 16,288.7 feet away. So several miles still. Close to 3 miles. Okay, questions?
Why is County Street so stupid?
Sorry, can't answer that question for you, Hunter.